Now know, don't we, that Prince Harry dashed off without so much as a leave or goodbye to our brand new king, King Charles III. That's right. And what's interesting here is, though, apparently, according to a very good source, all of that could have been radically changed. As ever, though, let me explain. Good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London, and as ever, lovely to have your company. By the way, can you believe it's 60 years this week since we lost the brilliant comedian Max Miller, very much a British institution, loved by many members of the British monarchy, known as the cheeky chappie of Brighton, became an international star, never quite broke too much else around the world, was sort of seen as rather naughty. If you like, a little bit like, shall we say, the Joan Rivers in male form of that particular era. And yes, it's hard to believe that he became an international name years after his death, after being included on the album sleeve of Sergeant Pepper by the Beatles. In case you're wondering who he is the man standing to the left, I believe, next to Marlon Brando on that iconic cover. You see, fame comes eventually everywhere in the world. Back as ever, though, to your breaking royal story of the day. As I said, we know Prince Harry couldn't wait to dash off back, could he, to, of course, Heathrow Airport. Didn't really give too much of a glance goodbye or anything like that to the King or indeed his brother or the Princess of Wales. Rather sad situation, as you can imagine. But according to a very good source, as ever with Harry and Meghan, it's always about them. Even on such a pivotal historical day, it has to be about them. And the biggest problem really for Harry was simply this, that, he felt once again that his own personal family had been drastically overlooked. Now, what this really stemmed from was this. As we all know, on the very same day of the coronation, there was, of course, the birthday of Prince Archie, the newly bestowed Prince Archie, who, apparently didn't need a title. They weren't too bothered about that, even though they turned down the title of the Earl of Dumbarton. But what's interesting, according to a very good source, both Harry and Meghan were eagle-eyed to look out to see if any member of the British monarchy would post to social media wishing Harry the very best. Happy birthday, as one can imagine. Now, this, I'm not saying could have swayed Harry at all, but it was a pivotal line in many respects, because if there was no message on social media, this simply backed up all the theory, didn't it, about Meghan and Harry and how it's one rule for one and one for another. Only last week we saw delightful pictures of Princess Charlotte celebrating her 8th birthday. Now, I guess, apparently, according to very good sources, Harry and Meghan were looking for this, and when none was forthcoming, everything they'd already said, apparently, about the British monarchy is what they truly believe. And Harry zipped back off to California to plan his own personal celebration for his eldest child, Prince Archie. You couldn't make this stuff up, truly. As ever, I would love to know what you think to this particular story in the comments below. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.